The first step when preparing pad thai is to make the sauce. Begin by boiling a cup of water in a pot and then add 2 ingredients. The first is tamarind paste. I like to buy the kind that comes in a block. The second is palm sugar. Palm sugar is very sweet and tamarind is very sour, so add double the palm sugar as the tamarind. Boil them on a very low heat until they begin to dissolve. This is what the sauce looks like when it's done. Tamarind paste has pulp and seeds in it, so it's necessary to strain this sauce before you cook with it. The seeds can break your teeth. Before boiling the rice noodles, let's soak them in warm water for 10 to 15 minutes and loosen them up. Bring a large pot of water to boil on the stove, and then you'll add your rice noodles. They only need to cook for a couple of minutes to reach the al dente point. We're going to fry these noodles, so if they're too soft after boiling, they're going to be pure mush when you fry them. After the noodles are done boiling, be sure that you rinse them very well in cold water to stop them cooking and remove any excess starch. In a large, hot frying pan, sear the tempeh slices on both sides. This will give them a beautiful golden brown color and will also sear in their chewy texture so that when they're cooked with the sauce and noodles, they will maintain their wonderful taste. Heat a large, deep-bottomed pot on the stove and then add quite a bit of oil. We need an ample amount of oil for this dish so that the rice noodles don't stick together into a huge clump. Don't be afraid to add a lot of oil. This is a fried noodle dish, after all. When you have enough oil, add 2 dried Sichuan-style chilies to the pan. These chilies lend a wonderful taste to the oil. It's a certain subtle quality that's hard to describe. If you don't have Sichuan-style chilies, just use chili flakes. They don't really make the dish spicy as much as adding a toasty, roasty deliciousness in the background, a sort of something that really is delicious. Give them a chance to begin sizzling, and then you'll know that it's time to move on. Add fresh chopped garlic to the pan. Add freshly diced red onion or shallots to the pan. I like to use a lot of shallots and garlic. Add diced green Thai bird chilies to the pan. I'm using about 4 to 5 because I like my pad thai extra spicy. I would say 1 to 2 would be medium, 2 to 3 would be spicy, and 3 to 5 would be extra spicy. More than 5 would probably be suicidal. Fry the onions, garlic, and chilies until they reach a golden brown color. They're going to give the flavor to the oil, and it will be very delicious. This is what the onions, chilies, and garlic should look like when they're done. Let's add our rice noodles to the frying pan. Remember to rinse your rice noodles after they've been boiled. Toss the rice noodles into the flavored oil in order to coat them with oil to prevent them from sticking together. Think of the rice noodles like a net at this stage that wants to catch all of the delicious little fried goodies and pick up all the wonderful flavors in the pan. The starch has been washed off of these noodles, so they're ripe and ready to pick up lots of delicious oil. After the rice noodles have been frying for a minute, add bean sprouts. These are mung bean sprouts, but you may use soybean sprouts or alfalfa sprouts if you prefer. I'll also add the seared tempeh to the pan. This is the pad thai sauce. Just go ahead and pour it in. Now mix everything together. You want to mix it until the bean sprouts wilt, but you must be very careful not to overcook the rice noodles. Remember that once the bean sprouts have contact with the hot pan, they will cook very quickly, And don't forget about residual heat. If the noodles begin to become too soft, simply cut off the heat, fold the bean sprouts into the noodles, and wait a minute. The bean sprouts will cook from the residual heat of the noodles. The tempeh is already fully cooked, so you don't need to be worried about that. Now, it's time for us to add green onions. I cut mine on the bias to make long, beautiful slices of green onion. We wait until the end of the process to add these because that prevents them from turning yellowish green, and this way they maintain their beautiful, vibrant green color. You can see that there's still quite a bit of sauce at this stage, and that's fine. The noodles are going to absorb some of it, and some of it will simply evaporate. Keep it moving around so that nothing gets stuck to the pan. When you move the noodles, you also provide an opportunity for the sauce to evaporate more. That's great. After the pad thai is done cooking, I like to turn off the heat and add a large splash of dark, sweet soy sauce. I don't use fish sauce in my vegan recipe for pad thai, so I find that the dark, sweet soy sauce serves two purposes. First, it fills in the saltiness that would have otherwise come from the fish sauce, and secondly, it provides another nutty, subtle, sweet tone that really complements the palm sugar well. I know some people use light soy sauce, but I really must recommend the dark. The pad thai is finished. It's salty, sweet, sour, and my version is extra spicy. Remember to garnish it with your freshly toasted and ground peanuts and serve with a fresh lime wedge. Invite your guests to squeeze the lime over their noodles for a bright burst of citrus. I hope you enjoy this dish at home. In fact, I hope you just love it.